solutions of the trigonometric equation 2 minus sine square x is equal with the cosine square x over 2 in the interval 0 to 2 pi. But this is a closed open interval. So the end behaviors here we are taking in consideration 0, but we do not take in consideration this 2 pi. So let me rewrite this trigonometric equation. So the trigonometric equation here is a 2. So let me take a pen. Is a 2 minus sine square x is equal with a 2 cosine square x over 2. But first of all, this cosine square x over 2, so this is a half angle, is going to be equal with a 1 plus a cosine x divided by 2. Now, instead of this cosine square x, I'm going to substitute with 1 plus cosine x divided by 2. And now we have this equation here. Here is a 2 minus a sine square x is equal with a 2 times 1 plus a cosine x divided by 2. And now this 2 here with this 2 we can simplify. And this is sine square x. We can write as 1 minus cosine square x. And hold this equation here, we can write 2 minus 1 minus a cosine square x is equal with 1 plus cosine x. And just let me rearrange a little bit of this equation. 2 minus 1 is 1, and negative is a positive, become a plus cosine square x, and everything here is equal with 1 plus cosine x. So let me go both sides and subtract by 1 and minus cosine x, because one side I want to make a 0, minus 1 minus a cosine x. So this here we can cancel, and what remains, and this here we can cancel, remain a cosine square x minus a cosine x is equal with 0. And we are factoring here a cosine x. And what we are going to get, a cosine x minus 1 is equal with 0. So now we have two factors, and we are going to equate the 0. If we are equating with 0, this is a cosine x is equal with 0. And now if we are taking the arcus cosine x or inverse cosine x, so this x is going to be equal with the inverse cosine x of 0. And inverse of cosine x of 0, x is going to be equal with pi over 2. But because we have in the interval between 0 and 2 pi, the other solution when is 0 is x is going to be equal with 3 pi over 2. But now we are taking this cosine x minus 1, so let me take a different color. And we are taking a cosine x, the other factor, minus 1 is equal with 0. We are going to plus both sides by 1, and cosine x is equal with 1. And x here is going to be the inverse of a cosine 1. But if we are taking the inverse of cosine 1, the x is going to be equal with 0. So the solution of this trigonometric equation are going to be x is going to be equal with 0, x is going to be equal with pi over 2, and x is going to be equal with 3 pi over 2. So those are the solutions. And if we wanted this to see, for example, how it looks graphically looks in this form here, what we have. And let us say, for example, here is the point is 0 and 1. And this point here, b, in the point b, the other solution is going to be here pi over 2 and 0. And the other solution is in the point c, which is 3 pi over 2 and 0. But if we are looking here for the solutions of the x, the solutions of the x coordinate is the first coordinate here. This is x is here, and the other is y. X and y, so x and y. So what does it mean? X is equal with 0, x is equal with pi over 2, and x is equal with 3 pi over 2. And here would be, for example, 2 pi and 1, but 2 pi and 1 is we are not taking in consideration because what we are looking for the solution, we're looking in the interval between 0 and 2 pi, but this is a closed open interval, and here is open. As we see, this is open, so 2 pi is not going to include as a solution, but just those three solutions are solutions of the trigonometric equation 2 minus sine square x equal to 2 cosine square x over 2.